Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to Monday Night Live, our very first for 2018. Happy New Year everyone. I hope everyone had a very enjoyable Christmas and New Year, and we're all pumped and excited for 2018 with our horses. I know that I am. I know that I've got three major things planned when it comes to TKH, or Tanja Kraus Horsemanship, and I'm just finalizing those things at the moment, and I'll be rolling them out for you shortly. So I'm really excited about 2018. I'm so pumped about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys and your horses and all of our progress for this year. So I'm Tanja from Tanja Kraus Horsemanship, for those of you who don't know me, and you are watching Monday Night Live, which happens currently at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time every Monday night, and that will continue for the year. We are on episode about 33 or 34, I think, and I'm so happy to be here with you on the first day of the new year. I really love the new year. It's something that, you know, I feel like it's a blank canvas. I feel like it's just that moment in time where you can really sit down and think about you know, where we're going for the next 12 months, and it's one of those times of the year. So I'm really excited. If you can't tell, hi Veronica, hey Hillary, thanks everyone for joining me. If you know anyone that would like to watch this video, please invite them or share while you're watching. I think there's an invite button there. I think there's a share button there. And tonight what we're going to be talking about is setting ourselves up for success and setting our horses up for success, and the top 10 ways that we can do that. So when we're talking about setting ourselves up for success, it can be in different ways. And so the first thing that I want to do is the first thing that we want to do when we're talking about setting ourselves up for success is we want to define what success means to us. It should be something that motivates us and gets us, you know, excited to get out of bed in the morning, interested and happy to... I'm laughing at Phil because he's saying hi all the way from the lounge room. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, darling. I hope you're enjoying the lounge room. I really do. We had a really good day today, spending it with our horses. So in my opinion, no better way to kick off the new year. So the first thing we need to do is define what success means for you, and take a moment to sit there and really think about, you know, what is success for you? Is it a competition? Is it confidence? Is it improving on that partnership between you and your horse? Is it your horse having more trust in you? Is it you building more skills when it comes to your horsemanship and being able to apply those skills to different horses, in not just the one that you've been doing your clinics with or coaching with or training with and things like that? So number one, define what success is to you and your horse. I think it's really important here when we're writing these things down or when we're creating these lists. I think it's really important to think about what's in it for the horse, and what does success mean for the horse. He probably really doesn't care about you know, going to working equitation and winning the next level, or going to cowboy dressage and winning that cowboy dressage test. So what does it mean for your horse? What does success mean? You know, his health, his mental health, his confidence when he's out and about with you, his ability to trust you and be secure in where you're going and what you're doing. So for those of you watching, actually I've just realized that I have left my air conditioner on and it's very noisy, so if someone can just let me know if that's actually interfering with the sound, and I can turn it off. I normally turn it off before we start, I just get the room cool, but tonight I've actually started it with the air conditioner still going. So if that is creating a noise and you can't hear me properly, please let me know and I will go ahead and I'll turn that off. The second thing that we need to do is cut the bullshit. So we did a Monday Night Live about this. It's called Calling Yourself on Your Bullshit. The replay is still up on our Facebook page. If you haven't watched it and you are the type of person that makes many excuses, I highly recommend that you either watch it or re-watch it. Great time of year, as I said, to re-watch it and really call yourself on your excuses. And if you're one of the people that did actually watch that live, tell me what, you know, watch it again and then look back over the last, say, 3 weeks since we did that live, or 4 weeks since we did that live, and say to yourself, how many times did I bullshit myself in the last month? How many times did I make excuses that weren't actually real? How many times did I, you know, not go ahead with something that I was going to do with my horses because of some excuse that I made up? Or how many times did I roll over and hit that snooze button when I had promised myself and my horse that I was going to get up in the morning? So number 2, cut the bullshit, call yourself on your bullshit, and if you want help doing that, go ahead and watch the replay of our calling you on your bullshit, because it's a whole hour of examples of you know, how to be successful in that. You know, I say it with a smile. We do have a bit of a laugh about it, calling ourselves on our bullshit, but it is a very serious matter. It's something that we all do. We put up excuses and things like that, and in that video I do cover why we do that, why we make these excuses, what is holding us back, and all that sort of thing. So I highly recommend that you re-watch that replay, and it will be up on our YouTube channel as well. Number 3 is setting ourselves some goals. So some of you would have been watching last week when we did goal setting, and we released the goal setting Monday Night Live, and I sent out a workbook in regards to that Monday Night Live. So if anyone watching tonight would like that workbook and would like to get the link to the replay of that Monday Night Live, please send me a private message and I will email it to you. We have uploaded it to our YouTube channel, but it is an unlisted video because you require the workbook to watch it. So I can send you the workbook and I can send you the link to the video. So goal setting, highly important. Again, there's a reference there for you. There's a whole Monday Night Live all about goal setting, so I'm not going to go into it now as part of this Monday Night Live. Go ahead, grab yourself, as I said, email me or private message me for the workbook, and sit yourself down with your workbook and watch that Monday Night Live and set some goals for this year. Number 4, doing a self-assessment. Once you've done those goals, sit down and do your self-assessment. And it's not about sitting there and beating yourself up and you know, saying, oh, I'm not good at that, or my horse isn't good at that, and sitting there in your own sorrow. It's about taking a realistic look at where you are now, where you want to be with your goals, and what is in between, what needs to happen between now and when that goal, you know, when that goal is set. I know that I was talking today, you know, we had the amazing opportunity to go to a friend's place today who has an awesome extreme trail at their property, and I know that they mentioned that they had a goal to attend a competition in November. So something for if you've got a goal like that, that it has a time frame on it, it's a November goal, what do you need to do between now and November to be ready for that goal? I'm sure that you can sit down and write down all the steps and then start taking the steps towards it. So doing a self-assessment and saying, what is it that's actually holding me back from doing that, what I want to do in November or December or October or whenever it is? What is it? Why can't I do it? So for me personally, I know one of my goals is to do a lot more cowboy dressage with Cooper this year, and one of my goals will be to attend the cowboy dressage in November. And I know for Cooper that we haven't spent a lot of time in an arena. We're very rusty on our arena work. We haven't spent a lot of time in a dressage arena. That is, obviously he's pretty used to being in an arena in terms of a showground and me teaching and all that sort of thing, but we haven't spent a lot of time doing miles in a cowboy dressage arena. So what is stopping me or Cooper and I from achieving that goal, from being able to walk out into my arena tomorrow and actually ride a cowboy dressage test, he's probably, and this is part of self-assessment, both Cooper and I are more than able to ride a cowboy dressage test tomorrow, but the quality of that test would leave a lot to be desired. So my goal isn't necessarily teaching Cooper how to maneuver within an arena and be able to do you know, circles and corners and things like that. I think there is a video where I do talk about the first time that I tried to put Cooper in a cowboy dressage arena, he ended up blowing way out to the outside because he just wasn't used to working within a 20-meter boundary. So we're beyond that now. Cooper is very okay with working within a 20-meter boundary, but we don't have our accuracy necessarily very good. Our circles are sometimes too big or too small or a wrong shape. So that would be my one of my goals, or my major goal would be to be able to compete in November. But what I need to do to get him ready and get me ready to compete in November is get him more accurate within the cowboy dressage arena, more accurate on his transitions. He's pretty good about holding his gaits. So this is what I'm talking about. When you're talking about self-assessment, you need to be able to sit there and say, well, these are the functions that I need to be able to do in my goal. So mine's a cowboy dressage test. And then I start going, okay, number one, Cooper needs to be confident in the arena. I can tick that box, he's confident in the arena. Number two, he needs to be able to operate within a 20 by 40 boundary and stay within those edges and not have circles that he wants to take out to 30 meters, which was our problem 6 months ago. So I can now tick that box. Yes, I can work Cooper within the parameters of a 20 by 40 arena. Number three, he needs to be able to stay within my corridor and do 20-meter circles that are circles shaped, not egg shaped, etc. So I know that I've got to work on that with Cooper, so that's on my list. Then the next thing on my list might be working on our accuracy. I know that I wrote a test the other day. I was practicing a test the other day, and I know that our trot to canter transitions are very good. He's does them very well. He does them right on the marker. I don't need to have much preparation in regards to that, but I know that our free jog needs a lot of work because it generally takes him about a half a circle to relax down into a free jog. So when I'm talking about self-assessment, I'm not talking about sitting there and going, oh, poor me and the poor horse and we can't do anything and we're really bad at this. I think we're all beyond doing that. I think we all, if you need to look at the language that you're using with your horse and the attitude that you approach with your horse. I know that there's replays up when I've spoken in depth about that on Monday Night Live, so I highly recommend that you watch those if you're still a person that is not using positive language when it comes to describing where you and your horse is at. That's something that we need to take a look at when it comes to our self-assessment, is being pragmatic but practical and positive in our self-assessment, and then working out the small nuances that we need to work on in order to achieve our goals. Okay, so number 5 is make plans that will support you and your horse. So if you and your horse are lacking confidence, for example, then you are going to make plans and organize things that are going to promote confidence in the horse. You're not going to take you and your horse out of your comfort zone and scare him. So if you're both lacking confidence, or if he's lacking confidence, your first outing isn't going to be to a show where there's 50 competitors, because you're just going to chuck him right in the deep end. You're going to throw him into that environment that stresses him out, that he's not going to be able to cope with, and then you're going to make his confidence issues worse. And if you've got confidence issues, then you're going to throw yourself into that deep end and potentially set yourself up for failure as well. So what you need to do if you and your horse have confidence issues is make a outing, for example, with just a few friends that you know that you can trust, that are going to support you and your horse during whatever it is that you need to do. So instead of going to a crowded show, you might say to some friends, 3 or 4 friends, hey, do you want to meet at the local showground on Tuesday? Then there's only going to be 3 or 4 horses there, and you're going to be able to control the situation. So in your self-assessment, you need to think about what it is, the things that are holding you up, and make plans that are going to complement your success in that field. So as I just said, my focus with Cooper would be consistency in our transitions and our geometry, being able to ride correct circles. So I wouldn't take Cooper out to a excitable environment. Say I wouldn't necessarily take him to the beach and ride circles if he was going to be distracted and excited by the waves, or distracted and excited by four-wheel drives going on the beach. Or I wouldn't necessarily put him in a show straight away, because if I ride a poor circle at a show, I need to keep staying on pattern and I need to go beyond that circle. Whereas if I go to a training day, I might be able to say, okay, it's a 20-meter circle at B, we've done a 20-meter circle, that wasn't a very good circle, so I ride another 20-meter circle at B. Instead of being in a show environment where I go, well, that was a really bad circle, but I'm being judged right now, so I need to go on to my next marker, because otherwise I'm going to get the bell rung. Okay, so make plans that are going to support you and your horse and set you both up for success. So instead of just a couple of examples, if you don't know what I mean by this, ask friends or people around you what they observe when they see you riding. But instead of going to a show, meet a few friends at a showground. Instead of going on an endurance ride, meet a few friends and go on a trail ride with only 3 or 4 people instead of 40 people. Instead of riding out in a big paddock, if you feel like your horse is going to get away from you or get excitable in a big paddock, ride in an arena or ride in a round yard, or do whatever you need to do to set yourself up for success and set your horse up for success. So establish your comfort zone, or your horse's comfort zone, and take him just outside the edge of that comfort zone. You don't need to go, well, my comfort zone's here, so I'm going to go ahead and take my horse way over here out of his comfort zone, because you're not going to set him or you up for success on that training day. You want to just take him outside of it, so then when you have a successful training session, you can go ahead and go, okay, we've nailed it, we're going home, and your horse is confident and you're confident, you've had a great day. Number 6 is take no prisoners. I say this because what I mean by that is do what you need to do with your horse to set you both up for success. And I've got a couple of examples of that. As I said, today we were very fortunate to be able to go out to a friend's place who has an awesome extreme trail set up on their private property. And there was 3 of us there. Our friend who hadn't ridden his horse, I'm going to say for a couple of weeks maybe, Phil and myself. So I ended up riding Phil's old horse, Al, who's 25 years old. You can pull him off the float or trailer, put a saddle on him, and he's good to go. You really don't need to do anything. He's solid as a rock. He's confident. He went at every single obstacle on that extreme trail without a second thought about it. He'll go anywhere, do anything. He's very, very confident, and he's a 25-year-old, well-educated horse, so he's very easy to ride. Phil took a young horse that he's got coming along called Cracker, and Cracker was started probably 2 or 3 years ago, but he's only been in for a week at a time. So even when he was started, I think he maybe had 3 to 7 or 10 rides put on him when he was started, and then he was tossed out in a paddock for 6 to 8 months. Then he was brought in and had another couple of rides, and then tossed out for another 8 to 12 months, and then he came in again. So this is one of those times when Cracker's been brought in, and he's only been in, or he's been in for a couple of weeks, but he's only had 2 rides here at home, one in the round yard and one in our small arena, our 20 by 40 arena. And so when Phil and I were talking about going, we said, I said, oh, are you going to take Cracker? And he said, I wanted to get Cracker ready to go up there, but he hasn't had enough rides here at home. I'm not sure whether I should take him. And Cooper had hurt his eye, so I said, well, I'm sort of limited in my horses because I've got horses turned out and things like that. I said, well, I'll ride Al, and if you want to take Cracker up there, I know that where we're going has a round yard and an arena and the extreme trail, so we'll just see how he goes. And so when we arrived, Phil went through his process of putting him in the round yard and sort of loping him out with the saddle on and doing what he needed to do with a green horse. And our friend had a horse that is He's reasonably well educated. He's not a green horse by any standard, but he hadn't been ridden in a while. He was all excited because he had, he'd been taken away from his herd, and then these two new arrivals came. So he was pretty puffed up and excited. So then he had to go into the arena and do his groundwork and things like that to get that horse prepared to be ridden. So all three of us, I was the only one who was ready to ride, and the two boys had to work with their horses for a period of time until those horses were ready. And this is what I mean by take no prisoners. All three of us were more than happy, and even if we weren't happy to wait for each other, you need to be happy to say to your friends, my horse isn't ready, I need to put him in the round yard, I need to do ground skills, I need to do this, I need to do that, and be okay with saying that and setting your horse up, doing what you need to do for your horse, and not worry about, oh, well, I told my friends that we were going to go on a beach ride, and now we've got to the beach and he's all excited, and so I really should just get on him anyway and go to the beach. It's not about doing that, because you're going to set yourself and your horse up for failure and not success. You need to ride with people that are going to support you in that environment. So that brings me to the next one. So that one was take no prisoners. Do what it is that you need to do for your horse to get your horse ready and confident within that moment, irrespective of any plans that you had. Now, number 7 is surround yourself with supportive people that are okay with that are going to support you in your goals, that are going to support you when you need to take a break and do ground exercises with your horse, or dismount your horse to ask him to go through a river crossing, or whatever it is. Surround yourself with people that are supportive and are going to be okay with that. And if you don't have those kind of people, find them. And if you have people that you usually go riding with and you know that they're not going to support you in that way, then don't go riding with them for a little while. You've got to choose your friends and choose the people that you're riding with. Hey MacNut, Happy New Year. So number 8 is recognizing when your horse is bothered and being able to help him through that and not taking it personally. So that comes back down to us and our ability to read our horses and our ability to not react when our horse presents us with something that may be unexpected, or not react when our horse presents us with something that is undesirable. So you've organised to go for a ride with friends, everyone turns up, everyone gets saddled, everyone's ready to go, and your horse starts playing up. He starts prancing on the spot, he's looking around, he's whinnying out, he's worried, he's building up underneath you, or maybe you haven't got on him yet. And you need to be able to recognise that the horse is worried or bothered and not react to it in a negative way, but support the horse through that situation. Sometimes we forget, because it can be frightening for us when a horse starts reacting, and sometimes we can forget that our horse doesn't want to feel that way. Our horse's natural state is not wanting to be in that peak state. They're not wanting to call out to their friends. They're not wanting to, be prancing. That is all stress indicators. And it's frustrating for us and it's worrisome to us. And sometimes all we want is for them to stop, and we forget that we need to sort of, hold their hand through that moment and say, hey, it's okay. How about we do some hindquarter yields? Or how about we bend? Or how about I take you over here and just help you relax and calm down? So recognizing when the horse is bothered and needing your support is vitally important to set both you and your horse up for success. And then you start pulling those tools out of your toolbox and saying, okay, I'm going to use this tool to help him calm down, or I'm going to use this tool to help him build confidence surrounding this this thing that he's worried about, etc., etc. The next thing that we need to do to set ourselves and our horse up for success is do a SWOT analysis. So that's SWOT. It is identifying our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. So some of you, this is a business applicable exercise. Generally, any of you that have been in business or been to business conferences and things like that would have heard about conducting a SWOT analysis on your business. And what I've done is I've transferred that over and I've taken it to our horses. So I know some of you have done a SWOT analysis with me before as part of a course, as part of some clinics and things like that. I know that we've done it before at courses, and I am going to be doing another online workshop like the one I did last week for goal setting with the workbook. I am going to be doing an online workshop about conducting a SWOT analysis on ourselves and a SWOT analysis on our horses. So one of the big things that we're rolling out this year for TKH is that we are actually going to be rolling out these online workshops, and they'll be conducted once a month. So we've done, the December one was our goal setting workshop that we did last week on the 27th of December, and our next one is going to be our SWOT analysis. There will be a workbook to go along with it, and there will be a pre-register button that you'll be able to click on to pre-register to get that workbook and to join the live, and it will be on Wednesday the 31st of January. So the online workshops that happen once a month will not be replacing the Monday Night Lives. We'll still be doing the Monday Night Live shows. The difference is the online workshops will generally have a workbook, and they'll be more of a classroom style workshop, whereas the Monday Night Lives are typically what we're doing now. I go through 10 to 15 points and ideas and philosophies about how to help our horses and ourselves through particular things. So I'm really looking forward to conducting those online workshops. They won't necessarily always be on a Wednesday. I'm not going to commit to the Wednesday immediately on those. The next one is on Wednesday the 31st of January. So I'm building that workshop at the moment, and I'm looking forward to having you guys on board for that. And that is for conducting the SWOT analysis. That brings me to our final point, which is jump in, okay? After you've defined what success is for you and your horse, you've cut the bullshit, you've set your goals, you've done your self-assessment, you've made plans, or you've come up with ideas about how to set yourself and your horse up for success. You've thought about whether you need to go on a trail, or you need to meet some buddies down at a local showground, or you just need to go to the local showground so you can use their arena so you can ride geometry and circles, which is what I need to do with Cooper. You've thought about your plans. You've made the decision to take no prisoners. You've chosen the people that you're going to surround yourself with. You've picked your supportive people who are going to support you in your goals and are going to be supportive when you've arrived at a place and you've got plans, and maybe you need to wait a little while to get the horses set up for success. You've made a commitment to recognize when the horse is getting bothered and not to react to the horse's bother, but support him through it, and you're not going to take it personally. You've conducted a SWOT analysis, or you've marked in your diary that you're going to do your SWOT analysis online with me as part of the online workshop next month, or at the end of this month. Our final thing is to jump in, book into that clinic, book those lessons, book that time with your friends. Deadlines motivate you, okay? So book into things that you can look forward to, that you can commit to, that you know that are coming up. Nominate for that show, whatever it might be. Commit to it, and commit to it externally. We sit down and we write our goals and we commit to things to ourselves. What adds more weight and power to those goals is that we commit to them externally. So once you've booked into a clinic, you've committed to that coach that you're going to go and do that clinic. Once you've booked with a rider, with an instructor, you know that you've booked in with that instructor, and you're going to have that lesson on 8 o'clock on Monday morning or whatever it is. Once you've booked in with your friends, you've got that deadline. You don't want to let your friends down, so you're going to turn up at the beach that day, or you're going to turn up at the showground or on the trail or wherever it is that day. So book in for that stuff. Get together a group of friends. I know that over Christmas time, we're all over the shop. People go on holidays, people go away, all that sort of stuff. Now's the time to get your study groups back together. I know that a few of my TKH groups in different areas get together and they have monthly meetings and they ride with each other and things like that. Get that happening. Pick those dates and jump in. It's the first day of 2018. It's an absolute gift. Sit down, go through these items that we've spoken about, define what success is for you and your horse, and make it happen in 2018. I'm going to be here for you guys. As I said, I've got 4 major things that I'm rolling out for this year, and I've just told you the first one, and that's the release of our online workshops. Our online classes are going to be happening. Each month we'll do one online class of a different topic. So if any of you have any topics that you'd like to see covered in an online workshop, then by all means send me a private message or just write it down in the comments if there's something that you'd like to see specifically covered. I'm really looking forward to rolling out these online workshops, and I've got 3 other things in production, but I'm not quite yet ready to reveal what they are yet, but I'm on the way. Keep an eye on our Tanja Kraus Horsemanship Facebook page, and make sure that you are subscribed to our emails, and make sure that you open those newsletters when they come in, because they will tell you about all the new stuff we've got happening. They will tell you about upcoming clinics in your area. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys out and about and at clinics and in our Facebook groups and in all the places that we touch base. So I hope everyone had an amazing start to 2018. If you didn't have an amazing start to 2018, I hope you can refocus yourself and still make it an amazing. It's the first day of 365 days this year, so we have time is on our side. All right, time's here. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone and their progression with your horses, and I look forward to seeing you around and about. So happy new year, and I'll see you guys when I see you next. Bye.